What's up? I'm Sydney at Penthouse Recording Studios here with Seven for an exclusive interview with the Grammy Award winning engineer and producer Ray Scavo.
What up, what up, what up, what up?
What's up, Ray?
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here with Seven. Penthouse, love this place. Honored to be on your stuff, man. Listen, I'm excited to be here. Let's do this.
That's awesome. All right, let's start with the basics. What got you into engineering initially?
Engineering for me was a total happy accident. I was a musician first. I toured all over the world with different bands. I was hired to play different instruments, and I hit a really crazy point where I didn't have anywhere to live, and I had a really bad home life, and I didn't know what to do. I was born in Staten Island, but I was growing up in the Poconos in Pennsylvania, and I was just like, I'm either gonna go to LA to pursue music or I'm gonna go to New York. And I happened to call one of my friends who was Busta Rhymes' head engineer and who eventually became my mentor, Kevin Geigel. And I was like, yo, I don't know what to do. I got nowhere to be. Should I go to LA and pursue music or should I go to fucking New York? And he was like, yo, come to New York, come intern at my studio, play on all the tracks you could, play music for everybody, and you never know what's gonna happen. And I moved into my car, drove to New York, and I lived in my car until it got repossessed and interned at a recording studio, and then accidentally became an engineer and producer. But I was just saying before, like, it definitely wasn't an accident. I was supposed to be here, and this is what I was meant to do. I just didn't know it yet.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So, in going with that, you talk about feeling as though this is something that you were meant to do. Are you somebody who believes in fate and destiny when it comes to your career?
Absolutely. I feel like we're all put here already knowing what we're supposed to do, and we all have these weird feelings that like lead us to certain things that we're drawn to, and we don't know why, like a magnet. Whether it was music or art or acting or comedy, whatever your thing is, like you're drawn to those things, and that's not for no reason. So I'm big on like trusting my instincts and following what I feel inside, and I felt like I came from a really, really bad childhood and upbringing with my family. So I watched people do what they were supposed to do and still be totally miserable, and still have failures and hardships. And then I realized if you can do what you're supposed to do and still be miserable, then I'm going to do only what makes me happy and try to be happy. So that's what I focus on.
Yeah, that's an awesome perspective on it. In talking about failures and successes and how you learn from them, what do you believe drives you more, your failures or your successes?
Both, you know what? Because like we all are artists when we do this. So when we fail at something, we're really hard on ourselves. I know me particularly, if I fail, I'm really hard on myself and I get really upset because I know I'm capable of more. And I don't want to be a failure at anything I do. And I also like when you succeed finally, all of a sudden you were like, oh, all that really hard work I put in was worth it. So it's like a little pat on the back to be like, oh shit, thank God I kept going. Thank God I kept pushing for this. But you learn so much more from failing. And if you're smart, you'll never make that same mistake again. And the bigger the fail, the bigger the lesson. So like, I really feel like there is no such thing as failures. It's just perfect lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in talking a little bit more on your successes, what was the first moment in your career where you truly felt as though you had made it or as though you were on your path to succeeding?
There was like a couple of points in my career because I was also a touring musician, like I said, and I opened for like the Misfits. And when I was a kid, and when I was 13, I was playing for Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond, gospel legends. And I was just a little kid playing for these guys, and like, I won like bass player of the year at all these gospel choirs and stuff and competitions. And like, I just knew that it was just in my heart to do these things. So like, that was like my first taste of, wow, I'm going to go somewhere. But the biggest one was 2 years ago now when I won my Grammy. And I was just like, why? Even talking about it now chokes me up. Like, I never in a million years thought that was going to happen. But what is weird, when I was really little, I did. Because I told my mom one day when I was like 5 years old, she always brings this story up. I was like, one day I'm going to take you to the Grammys with me. And then not even all these years later, I win my first Grammy. And that was just like, that like really hit me, because I was like, wow, all this pain I went through in my life was for a reason. It wasn't for no reason. And it made me realize that I'm here to inspire other people and teach them that you're supposed to go through pain. You're supposed to go through suffering. And it makes us really strong. As long as we stay with it, we'll get exactly what we think we deserve out of this world.
Yeah, absolutely. So, congratulations on your Grammy.
Thank you very much.
You've worked with a ton of notable names, including Ghostface Killah, Nas, obviously Kendrick,
Yeah.
Kanye West, Tory Lanez, Jadakiss, and a laundry list of more.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a moment in which you were in a room with people and you had to like hold back being starstruck, or you realized like, oh, I'm in a room full of people that I've like looked up to or who made me fall in love with music?
There was lots of times. When I first met Tory Lanez, I was a huge Tory Lanez fan. And when he walked in, he was just, first of all, he was super nice. So that made it easier for me. So I was just like, let me chill out and just try to, instead of talking so much, because when everyone's nervous, we either talk a lot or talk a little. I was just like, let me just show him what I'm capable of. So I was always in that mindset, like instead of getting nervous and shy, let me show them I belong here. And that's like what I always try to do, is to not be like looking up at them, but to be looking level with them, like I'm one of you. And I got that wonderful experience just 2 days ago. I did the session with Nas, Ghostface, Raekwon, and De La Soul. And I was in a room full of the hip hop Avengers, the most talented hip hop artists who ever came before me. And anybody else would have been nervous and frightened. And I realized I belonged there. And I was like, I'm one of them, but in my own right. So that was like a really huge experience. Like as I get further in my career, it's shifting from me being starstruck by people to me almost feeling like you guys should be starstruck by me in a way, if that makes sense. Like, and that's like something I try to carry with myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talk a bit about how you grew up playing gospel music and playing with gospel artists, but you also are very heavily into the hip hop and rap scene now, not limiting yourself with other genres as well. But is there a specific genre that you gravitate towards? And is it the same that you listen to in your free time, or do you keep it separated because of work? And
Oh, that's a great question. You know what? I actually love making pop and R&B music more than anything, because I love somebody who has diversity, and I feel like pop and R&B is usually very experimental, where like hip hop has a formula that we're all used to and we're trying to repeat over and over, and it's very rare that we step outside of that box in the hip hop world. So as a producer and engineer, of course I love those genres, but I love to challenge myself. So anything that I could push the boundaries in, or artists that that are willing to let me push the boundaries, that's where I gravitate to for sure. But you know what? I actually listen to everything when I'm not working. A lot of 90s alternative rock and like Blink-182 and old school 80s metal. And I just try to listen to everything, because as I progress as a producer, I find myself drawing things from Slayer and Megadeth into my pop records, and you're like, how is that even possible? But there's certain sounds that I'll hear in my head that I'm like, oh, this belongs here. And it's because my huge taste in music and how wide it is that I'm able to draw from these different places.
I love that. So in talking of music, it's obviously an ever-changing field and an ever-changing thing. As a producer, as an engineer, as an artist yourself, you know, you create music. What are some things that you want to see like the music industry do? Like, is there anything where you're like, oh, we should be focusing more on this, or you want to see more artists explore different genres or things like that?
I would really love for us to get back to glorifying talented artists in the industry versus marketable artists in the industry. I noticed that as record labels grasped a hold of everything and started to own everything more and more as time went on, it became less about your talent and more about you as a business. And if you were beautiful and you had marketable and sellable, you could have the least amount of talent and sell the most amount of records, because they really didn't care. And I miss the days of turning on and hearing a new Prince record, or turning on a new Michael Jackson record. Somebody who put together with Quincy Jones and all these huge musicians to make something that we may not have ever experienced on this earth through music. And I feel like there's less people trying to push that envelope. In 2025, I feel like we're almost bored with Earth as humans, which is why we have AI now, because we've experienced everything. And it's up to us as musicians and producers and engineers to create the next level of experiences for us through music. But if nobody's agreeing and trying to push that envelope, we're going to get stuck and it's going to get boring again. And I just don't want that. I'm tired of monotony. I'm ready for the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously you've been doing this for a little while now, handful of years.
Yeah.
What is a piece of advice that you would give somebody just getting into the engineering game or just the music world in general?
You got to have thick skin. There's not very nice people. That most of the people you're going to meet are pretty mean, and most of the celebrities you're going to meet are pretty mean. And you have to just get used to everybody in the industry had to sacrifice something huge to get here, so they protect it like their life depended on it. So they're not trying to be mean to you because of you, who you are. They're trying to protect the hard work they put in to get there. And you have to kind of respect that. And it's like earning your stripes, like a tiger, you know? You have to go through it. You have to fail. You have to suck. You have to get ridiculed. You have to get embarrassed. You have to get yelled at. That is all part of this. Don't be scared when those things happen. Actually long for them, because that means you're learning and progressing. So the more bad situations you're in, the better everything's going to get for you, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Learning from those,
Yeah.
those instances. Would that be the piece of advice that you would tell your younger self, or what would you tell your younger self who was just getting into all of this?
That you're meant to do this. Don't give up on yourself. And even though it's going to be really, really, really hard, it's also going to be really worth it. For sure.
So obviously now mostly you're in the engineering side of this world. Do you still play instruments? Do you still, mess around with your own type of style of music and things like
Absolutely, but I always find myself more so creating for other artists. I always end up I feel like that's now my motivation to play, is like, oh, an artist is like, yo, I need this sound or I need that sound. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've been dying for someone to make me do this. But you know what's funny? As I do this more for a living, I do it less as a recreation. Because now it's like I'm going home from work and I want to hang my coat up and I want to relax now. So now I don't even want to hear music sometimes when I'm home, because I'll be in the studio for 3 days, 4 days straight and my ears are tired. I don't want to even consume not another song. I just want to watch TV or stare at a sunset or just walk around. Like, you have to find balance in your life, because too much of anything is no good for you.
So what do you think is next in your career, or are there any major projects that you're currently working on that you can kind of give us a little sneak into what you're working on?
Absolutely. I'm working on Supreme Clientele 2 with Ghostface Killer. And I'm also working with a bunch of dope artists of my own, like Lana and Chucky Hollywood. And we're getting ready to release big albums with them. And my music I made with Lana Love, she's sick. Like, some of the best music I've ever produced in my life, for sure, because she gave me the key to be as free-spirited and experimental with the sounds and everything that as possible, which is what I long for as a producer.
Do you think working with specific artists allows you to explore your creativity more? And if so, what about an artist allows you to do so?
Yeah, I felt like some artists let you explore more, some artists let you explore less. And my job, I thought at first, was to always bring me to the scenario, which is kind of our job. But at the same time, as an engineer, you also have to you're working with a celebrity artist. They already have their formula, their sound, and now your job is kind of to cater to that. So like, I had to learn that part, and that took me a little bit while to get used to, is because I always wanted to be like, nah, try this, try that, try that. And they're like, nah, don't do that. And I was just like, oh, well, you should. You probably should. They're like, nah, hell no. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, I had to really learn where to insert myself and when to also just listen to the artist, because no one knows better than the artist, truthfully.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if people want to keep up with your work and kind of pay attention to what projects you've got coming out with your artists and such, where do they find you?
You can check me on Instagram at Ray Ray Scavo. I also have a Muso account where you can see and listen to all the works I ever done. Currently at a 500,000,000 streams right now for all the projects I've done, which is pretty sick. Like when I was a kid, I would never even thought I'd get like 100 streams on things I've done. Now I'm at almost 1 billion. And I was just like, oh, that's mind blowing. So you can check me on Facebook, Instagram, all at Ray Ray Scavo, and then on Muso AI to check all the credits. And they create a playlist for you of all the works that I've credited for, so you can listen to everything all in one shot there.
Definitely gonna have to check that out. Do you have anything that you want people to know about you or to take away from your interview today?
Yeah, I came from a really, really, really poverty stricken family with a lot of abuse. And you know what? I feel like we all come from pain and struggle. And we all get into this thing where we compare it to one another, whether they struggled more or less. And I feel like we just need to realize that we all go through something that we can't even imagine that the other person's going through. And you're probably going through something yourself that we couldn't even imagine. So I would want everyone to understand that, be a little more sensitive to everyone around you, but also know that if you're going through something, you can get through it. And if you believe in yourself and you believe you're meant for something, you are meant for that. So don't ever stop pursuing it. Don't let anyone tell you no. I've been denied way more than I've been accepted, and I still won a Grammy. So it's okay. It's okay for people to doubt you. It's okay to be denied. Just don't stop doing it because of someone else. Just do it because you love it.
Sweet. Thank you so much for your time today. Can't wait to see what else you've got coming out for us and continuing to learn. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Much love.